Brum Banshee, Uchi Danchi, 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 on the bed, Hitachi. Yeah. Bad Bunny, baby.
Gramaneca Studios.
But what were you saying that I was gonna do? What? So we don't.
Grandma Naked. Back at you. It's been a minute. I don't know. It's been a while. I got a full-time job again. Great. I sell catering. I sell events. Great. Love it. So this is hard. What the fuck am I going to talk to you about? Some chick's wedding? Some bar mitzvah that was held off for a year because of, this financial apocalypto? I had to get back to work full time. And maybe I'm just not cut out. It's opposite day. Of course I'm cut out for this. Sorry for the delay. And I have clips from another episode I'm going to layer into this. Not only that, but I have the best prank I've ever executed in my life. The way I said executed sounded like I'm killing something, and that's how good it was. Did you hear about the prank I did on Eric?
No, a prank. By the way, they all went to Rutgers games today. It was really funny.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. Kevin did not look happy to be there.
He's trauma. He's still paying him back, and then paid parking. Dude, so Eric, I was like doing a real estate exam, and I wanted Adderall so I can like just cram for a week. Mm-hmm. And I hit up Eric, and I'm like, "Hey, could you just mail it over?" And he found it funny, and he was like, "I'm gonna do it for you." But he was like, he wouldn't joke about how he was nervous about it because it felt illegal. And I told him, so he felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't lie to them. Say if they even ask questions, "Oh, it's a medication I'm mailing back to a friend who was staying." Whatever bullshit. If they stop you or say any part of this is, then don't. Thanks for trying. He walked up. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get his medication for someone." They put it in a fucking bubble envelope and they send it my way. I got it days later. Amazing. And I was like, you know what? Because Eric is buena gente, is the forefront of his ethos, of his brand. He's good people. He doesn't like to break rules. This is a perfectly raised specimen. His parents put him to work when I was in like Cub Scouts and shit. I was learning about knots, and he was running a laundromat in West New York. So I thought maybe we call Eric and freak him out. Maybe I want to hit him up like I'm FedEx legal. You feel me? Maybe I need an actor friend because he can't recognize my voice. And I'm like, I got actor friends, but I want someone who has the right verbiage. And you remember that kid Billy, the white boy who's been on my podcast before?
Yeah.
Like, he's a clinician. And he works in like sober living houses. So I'm like, he's going to know to say things like Schedule 2 narcotic. Bro, he does the favor. He comes over and does way better than I ever expected and almost gets Eric to snitch on himself.
No way. You're fucking up, dude.
It's crazy. But in the end, he was fucking pissed. And I realized I'm not a prank person because I melted down. I'm not a prank person. I listened to my friend have his cage rattled over the phone and I got nervous for him. I felt horrible. I'm not a prank person. That's why Impractical Jokers is so popular, because we would love to do this to people, but I can't. Philly on the street would get murked. I won't have that kind of luck. So I realized I'm not a prank person. I was like breaking my own heart listening to this person's fear and their voice rattle over a potential. I don't execute pranks. I did this one. Divino. I don't think I can top it. So there's the end of it. There's my entire prank career. And I don't know if I'm going to layer it into this episode or I'm going to do it far in the future. We actually planned a guy's trip. Gary, this fucking Dominican beanstalk friend of mine, planned a long weekend away in Breckenridge, Colorado. Dominicans in Breckenridge. I love it. It's progress, not progresso, because they don't know how to make tomato sauce. Speaking about tomato sauce, I'm a fan of Italian food, and my whole life, you just got to spend money and go out to these fucking places. And then you're annoyed when you understand the cost of food. Sauce and pasta is nothing. But especially in LA, you pay $17 for a penne vodka that they put peas over. What? No. And so, Madame Rustica, The name of the fucking product is Madame Rustic. That's like a small batch, banging Italian red sauce, and a vegan creamy Alfredo, cashew-based roasted cashews. Divino. I use it on everything. It became like ranch in my life. I think it's like you're looking at $8 for the red roasted. You're looking at maybe $10 for the vegan one. And if you consider the cost of pasta, you're cheating dinner. You got to entertain a couple of guests. You just want to buy some pasta and know how to make something. Boom. But if there's integrity in the sauce, the dish is banging. Cheat on dinner with Madame Rustica. I'll insert the Instagram right now because it's like a brand new small company, and the holidays are coming around. So, Friendsgiving, flex that shit. Friendsgiving, flex that shit. Madame Rustica.
Okay.
Read it. Give me the headline.
People outraged after Donald Trump suggests Alec Baldwin loaded gun that killed Rust crew member.
Yeah, of course you're going to say that the guy who played the most compelling and the most aggressive Trump character on SNL loaded the gun himself to kill back of house. What? That's the thing. It's like his brand is freedom, but he would execute anyone who goes against him.
100%. He's a sociopath for that reason.
And to think that he thinks he's going to start a social... What do you think his social media app is going to be like?
It's going to tell people to not say certain things, just the same way Facebook...
It's going to have a farm bill with slavery.
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels do a panel there. Do you like him?
I don't even really know who he is.
That guy who went viral because he does like these Instagram live talks about what women should be looking for to find like executive level men or why they're not happy. And he's like, his entire like ethos is like, you need a man.
Interesting.
I've been walking down the street with my girl and I need a man.
I did.
But you know, people stop posting that they're at the Aventura concert. Like it's obvious you are in the nosebleed. And it's not even just nosebleeds. Like he's doing arenas. So you're just watching him in a Jumbotron? No, I'm not going to pay hundreds of dollars to watch Aventura in a Jumbotron with a bloody nose. Because there's no way it's even within the same atmosphere. I don't want to watch Aventura from the stratosphere with a bloody nose. I love him. And I don't want to dance bachata in a fucking like baseball stadium seat. I want more than the 2 square feet they're allotting me. Because your boy swings it. He swings it. It swung. Oh my God, a friend at work. I don't know why people are so loose with their lips like this, but I had a friend at work tell me about how they accidentally experienced a rub and tug. What? First of all, he showed me the place. It doesn't even have a name. It says massage and has a phone number. He says he walks in wanting a massage. He was like devastated in his lower lumbar. I don't know. I don't understand massages too, because the last time I had a massage, my lower back was hurting, and she was like, where? And I'm like, lower back. And I kept pointing her to my lower spine until she was there, and she's like, but it's all bone. And I'm like, well, I don't know what a massage is then. Rub the hurdy. Is that racist? Because that's exactly what she said. I don't know. I shouldn't have smoked weed. I also microdosed. Monogamy. My girlfriend hates that joke. She's like, why don't you say you overdosed on monogamy? I'm like, that's offensive. I don't know, dude. There's white supremacy. There's black supremacy. It's like, am I the only one out here not loving themselves? Is there Latino supremacy? I think that's Spaniards, right? Definitely Argentinians if you've met one. Cubans don't really think they're supreme. They just like, you know what? They do. Forgive me. I don't know. I talk like I don't have struggles. My struggle is I accidentally take a multivitamin on an empty stomach and then I realize halfway to work in gridlock. And I just like gray up like I got bit by a zombie. But if you hang in there, that's where you really, check your mettle. You hang in there, you'll be fine. It's like 3 exits of devastation. devastation, but it's solo un dolor y pasa, and then your day, and then you're like, did I just overdose on magnesium or what happened? But it's like this, and it's always a cheaper multivitamin, the shit that comes duro hard. Because now I get like the better multivitamin. That shit comes like herbals in a capsule, and that's fine. It's like a dehydrated salad. And it works. It feels good. I try to pretend like I live my life calculated for my health because I became that way. Like I become aware of how I'm better mentally or how I can fix my mood. Whether it's like, oh, I got to work out. And then it became like, oh, I got to work out 3 hours before that thing that matters. And I got to hydrate this way, but then not in a way where I might have to pee too much during that thing that matters. Or, if you want nicotine or something, you save it for that moment. Like, it's weird. It's too specific. Sometimes I do a show in Hollywood. I'm like, okay, I work out at this time, and then I'll get a ginger shot at fucking Juiced an hour before the show. And I'm like, I am too dependent on like exterior accessories for my mental health. I'm a placebo person too, so this is a nightmare. And this is going to become a financial nightmare. It's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to hire someone to sit in the audience with a fucking blow dart. And they're like, welcome to the stage, Phil Moya. And I'm like, and then poof. And it's like a vitamin B shot or some shit. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you go to a sound bath, you still need to shower. I went to a mic the other day outdoors, Bryson Banks. Mike is right next to the Holocaust Museum in LA. I'm far from the subject, but like, who's the Holocaust Museum for? You know what I mean? I feel like you've just created a community for like down low ancestors of like Nazis to walk in there like, these were the days. Because otherwise it's like straight devastation. Like Cubans, I got relatives who dies on the path. And then the people who survived they don't even talk about Cuba. They don't even acknowledge it as a nation. It's a thing that used to be. I told my mother I went to Cuba 3 years ago. She was sick to her stomach for 3 weeks. I was recalling a date I went on before I found my sweet angel. I was so long ago. I was like maybe 22, 21, and it was in the summer, and this person was like, she would like to hike, which is foreign in New Jersey. I'm like, what are you talking about? Picks me up, foreign. I'm like, I just wear basketball clothes, and I had a book bag on with like one loose muscle milk or something. We get there. She's like, I'll leave a phone in the car. What? She's like, yeah, no, it's for the experience. Like, okay. And we go hiking. And we go, and I see other people. I'm like, okay, this feels a little more familiar. But then we go beyond where they're like the signage is like directing us, and she's familiar, and I'm like, okay, and we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going and going, and we're now up by like, I don't even know what you call it, but it's like past the George Washington Bridge where you're still like across the river and you can see New York. It's like 9W. I think 9W is the highway it's next to, and we get to a point where literally walking through thicket, and we hit a cliff that may be 100 plus feet, straight up. She looks at me and like laughs maniacally. And I know that laugh because I'm a nervous laugher. I'm maniacal. We hit a wall. This bitch was like, and then doesn't even agree to turn around, decides to take like another unknown route where we don't see other people. I'm now calculating. I'm like, if we get stuck out here, we got like an hour left of sunlight. An hour. And we're traversing these unknown woodlands. There was a point, like Jurassic Park, where there was a trench or some shit and a tree fell over and we are balancing on a tree. I'm like, bro, I need a spear. And I'm watching the sun come down, and she's just maniacal laughter every time we don't know what's next. Maniacal laughter from her. Hike, hike, hike. I'm gonna keep this short for you. Hike, hike, hike. Maniacal laughter. Hike, hike, hike. Maniacal laughter. Need my muscle milk. Need my muscle milk. Need the one accessory I had in my bag. Need it. I shouldn't have even split order. We are at the cusp of the sun disappearing, And I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to lay on this ground. Because now I'm like, and we've walked so long too that I'm like, when we find this highway, we're probably miles from where we parked. I hear a car, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And we finally scrape our way to a highway. It's already night at this point. We were like already having to accept like, take a seat. And she was gonna be like, we're walking this highway, and she's walking in front of me. This wasn't not by accident. She's walking in front of me because I'm just like mustering up the courage. Like I'm gonna like flag someone down like a hitchhiker. I'm not rolling the dice that the next car that comes is the only car that comes this evening. It's already night, like 8:30, 9 p.m. We've been walking in the direction we think the car's in. I hear a car coming from afar. She's ahead of me, so she doesn't even see what I'm doing, and I give it a like, bro, you can fuck her if you just get me home. But he happened to be like a taxi driver. He had like an old town car. I tell him what happens in 4 seconds, and we get in his car. I had like $60 cash on me in that book bag. I gave him all of it. I'm like, you find our car. We're blah blah. 22 minutes of driving before we find our cars. We were going to decompose on a first date. And we didn't even need a predator. Just nature confidence. And that's the worst thing. That's why these videos of like a woman scaring off a bear in her yard is devastating to the human species. And you will realize that because Reels is going to show us soon. We finally get back to the cars and we get home. She comes up to my place to change. She takes off her shoes. And I'm like, are you harvesting balsamic? I won't use her name. She's a sweet angel of a lady. And what I appreciate most about her being called out like that and taking it was that she laughed maniacally. She literally was like, what do you mean? And that's consistency. You go, girl. Her name rhymes with... Like, I don't know what parts of me doesn't want to like Mike Towers.
I like Mike Towers, yo.
He looks like a dude who still sells weed in 1997, but today.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna play some Mike Towers now. I like Mike Towers. I fuck with Mike Towers.
I know. It's not, there's no Y in there, bro.
Yeah, there is.
Bro, oh, there really is?
Bro, I fuck with Mike Towers.
I enjoyed Dyke Tyson.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my God. Remember that dude, Darren, who performed, who closed the show at the Haha last time? The white guy was like, I like my women like I like my... And I threw him refrigerator, and he goes, full of beer.
Full of beer.
And it killed it. It killed it. And then he goes, big and white and working. Dude, murderer. And then I was watching a podcast recently, an old episode of this guy, George Perez, who's hilarious, like a local LA Mexican dude who had time in prison, whatever. And they're having just sketchy stories with Joey Diaz on the Church of What's Happening Now. And they're talking about sets they were doing in the early 2000s. And they said Darren. And I'm like, oh, great, whatever. And they were talking about this old ghetto club. They're like, this fucking comedy club was so ghetto, the bitches were strapped. Like, he's like, ghetto. And he said it was so ghetto that when they got to the show, someone was shot there last night. So they had to walk by one of those like candle memoriams to go into the club that they now have to get paid to perform tonight.
That's crazy.
And he said... And then they tell that story, and then they're like, no, it was so bad. I remember Darren tells me a story that he did a gig in Oceanside, because early 2000s, apparently Oceanside was a dangerous place.
Interesting. Yeah, that's wild.
Now that shit is fucking affluent beachside cabanas. But they were at a club in Oceanside, and he said, not like, I don't know if he was bombing, but Joey Diaz died laughing trying to explain it. He's like, a gangster who threw a knife at him that got stuck in the wall behind him. He's like, Darren was pale for 3 days. and then George Perez goes, I like my women like I like my knives. And I'm like, they're talking about Darren.
I like my women like I like my...
Refrigerator.
Full of beer. big and white and working.
We're done. I've shamed my family and I sold some sauce. We out here. Who's the boss? I mean, I'm the only employee, so Grandma Naked Studios, we out.
As you know, like I'm very dense, so
You're denso intenso. You are made of weird proteins. It's crazy. I work out every day of my life, but if I ran into you hard, it's like a van hit me. I thought I had stability because I have long second toes, so my lateral movement is like.
I don't know what it is though, man. And I used to be very skinny.
No,
I was looking at photos the other day. I was like, yo, I was very skinny.
You're an anomaly. You have mac and cheese salad for lunch. Like that's like your average offering for lunch.
Yo, that's so funny.
Yo, how do you feel about your girlfriend liking me the most? Because it's kind of like writing's on the wall, you know? One more for Phil. One more for Phil Moyerhead. And Michelle Lozano loving him the most in his circle.
That's what I do. I'm sorry.